It's Sunday, March 5th. It's been a minute, but we haven't forgotten about y'all. We're back with a new episode of Alumni Brunch Club, so grab your drink and tap in. Tanil, let's go. Welcome back, ABC. ABC is a live interactive podcast with Overflow Mimosa. Excuse me, it's a little early for me. Hot topics and cultural moments and Black achievements. Plus, homecoming vibe is always 365.
65.
Hello, good morning, everybody. As you notice, it's just two of us for now because we've got one on the way back from church. Praise the Lord. Won't he do it? But we're gonna keep this show moving.
Sounds like a missionary Baptist church service.
Hello, because this is like I'm doing a production. I'll be here soon. Anyway, I'm Brittney Groom, CAU class of 2007.
And I'm Tanil Gibson, CAU alum, class of 2006. Brittney, I'm excited about today's episode because I decided a month ago that I'm restarting the year March 1st.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you restart though?
So what's today is so I'm starting today, restarting today.
Wait.
March 5th. I pushed it back to March 5th.
Okay. Because of the episode probably, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm restarting.
Help.
So
I'm here for it. I need all the guidance I can have. Mm-hmm. And I think our guests today are really going to be able to get us together. Also, you know what I thought about? It's Women's History Month, and we got a panel full of boss ladies. So yeah. I feel like that's the way to celebrate. And we didn't even think about that or do that on purpose, but won't he do it? We're supposed to do a wellness check-in right now. We are, because then we're going to introduce like our wellness panel. I'm going to check in with myself. I'm tired.
Me too.
It's early. It's early for me. It's raining. I live in Los Angeles. It has been raining for months. I'm over it. Why is it raining in LA? Nobody moves here for the rain.
I thought it didn't rain in Southern California.
Well, Tony lied to you.
Okay.
And all of us, because it rains a lot.
Yeah.
Global warming is real.
I'm tired as well. That's why I want to restart. So
today.
I'm restarting today.
I'm here for it. Let's get into it. Let's restart. Taria just gonna have to catch up.
You were waiting on Taria?
No, I'm just saying, like she swore she was gonna be here at the top. She just gonna have to get in where she fit in.
Oh yeah, she'll fit in. Let's get to our panel. I'm excited. I'm ready. Happy New Year to me with our panel. So I'm ready. Let's start with let's start with Amina. We're bringing Amina to the stage. Blah, blah, blah.
Hello, Amina.
Hello.
Class of CAU 2007.
Yes, although that's not what my degree says, but that's okay. You know, you know how that goes.
Girl. It's all about what class you identify with. You know,
I totally identify with class of 2007. And all the bosses up in that class.
Hello, because Amina and I were in the same dorm freshman year, and yes. I'm leading you into the next guest if you want to go there, because we're gonna also have somebody from our same dorm freshman year. You could go there.
Bumstead Diva.
Jeez.
We're representing hard.
I was so excited to have Brittney, another fellow Bumstead Diva, also Boss Bay extraordinaire.
Yes. Well, Amina,
here to do the Lord's work.
Hello.
Amina is an entrepreneur. If you don't know, she's a wellness studio owner, and she's in the middle of some transitioning herself with businesses and passion. And I know she's going to get into that with us today. And Brittney King Brock, the owner of the King Creative Group, music executive, entrepreneur. And there's some other things she's going to add to that title coming up too. Yoga teacher as well.
Yes, I am in my teacher training, and as of April 2nd, I will be certified.
Oh, yay.
That's exciting.
I got a month to go.
Yay.
That's exciting. Well, we have, we're going to bring our final panelists up, and Ciji Townsend.
Hey, Ciji. Uh-oh, can she hear us?
Oh, I can hear you.
Yay, Ciji. Ciji, founder of Balance Not Busy, director, public affairs at Cox Communications, class of 2005. I feel like we represent an era right now in today's episode.
We do. 2005, 2006, 2007. Look at us.
Yeah. Good times. Steagles days.
Ooh,
right.
girl.
Wing on wheat.
Wing on wheat. Wait, somebody, was it Taria who's never had the wing on wheat?
I've never had that either. So I'm a vegan.
And I didn't know what that was. What's the wing on wheat? I've never had that.
What? It sounds like a wing on some wheat bread.
Wait.
What's that?
Did the wing on wheat
how many mimosas you had?
Clark Atlanta University?
No, CG. I've had a wing on wheat, but I don't think Taria has. And now she's got a whole crew that ain't had
I know.
wing on wheat.
I'm actually kind of disturbed by this. Can we talk about this?
I am too.
Yeah.
Like, did y'all go in Steagles?
I just had a wing on white.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it's the same thing. I thought there was something special about the wheat. I'm like, I never know.
No. You had a wing and a piece of bread, so you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm good.
Wait, Amina, were you vegan in college?
No, because I did. I definitely gained the freshman 20 because I was not vegan. I was eating at the Good Wing place over there that accepted Panther Paw. It's like a legendary chicken place.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I went vegetarian.
Oh, are you talking about
in college?
Yes, I did.
Are you talking about
it's a
behind
family
Heritage
owned.
behind?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And they've grown. They have like delivery truck service. They're still open. I used to go there, no lie, 4 times a week and get the chicken meal with the sweet tea. And then on Sundays, they would have that line out the door.
Yes.
I have no clue.
I'm on Google Maps right now because I'm
good.
I don't know this place because I don't know the Chinese place that was.
Don't forget when Krispy Kreme's open and that hot and ready sign would be on, and they used to be open at like 2:30 in the morning.
Problematic.
Listen, that used to be on the way home, munchy hours. So
Busy Bee.
Busy Bee.
Oh,
Busy They made it seem like it was some little hole in the wall. Busy Bee is a whole family establishment.
Hold on, Busy Bee is a hole in the wall.
Right.
Yeah, but like Busy Bee is like a
it's a historic spot.
They just won a James Beard Foundation Award. Like
really?
Busy Bee
is classic.
Legit.
Busy Bee was my
favorite.
Still
a hole in the wall, but it is.
But you compare Busy Bee to Steagles.
Well, I said I had that. Though.
I was on the
I just wanted to
route.
let you know that I did have chicken,
but not there.
Yeah, I still had standards, y'all.
Clearly you had an elevated palate.
I mean, I never took the shuttle, so I was just a different kind of freshman.
You're airing it all out. You are airing it all out.
Okay. She said she was just a different kind of freshman. I ain't mad at it. Okay. Tag. Throw us in. Put us in, coach.
Well, since this is a wellness episode, I'm sure all the ladies are drinking water. What's in your cup for
all the ladies? Water.
All
the ladies are drinking water.
Yeah.
So I got a whole thing. I got tea and I got ginger beer.
And, I will really get wellness with y'all. I don't drink alcohol, and I haven't drank alcohol for 9 years.
Come on, clean body.
Wow.
If you want to talk about wellness and how I can stay busy, even though I'm trying to be more balanced, Ciji, the non-alcohol helps.
Okay.
What was your why for that? Like, what got you into making that decision?
So I was an original city girl and I needed to get my life together. So, and I don't know if y'all used to listen to my podcast back in the 2000s, but I was living in New York. I had a good life, but it was a wild life. And I just wanted to have a better life. And so I got sober. And it's been the best decision I've ever made in my life. And I empower everyone to do it because you just are better for it.
Love
So
you
do
for
you
that.
do like the spiritless drinks and the like the mocktails? Because I
mocktails.
tried that.
I'm not really a mocktail bae. I feel like those are just like wasted
Sugar.
calories.
Yeah.
And then it's also just like an unnecessary expense. So
Yeah.
really carbonated water. I do drink CBD drinks. I do drink THC drinks. And I am, really big on.
I didn't know that was a
sparkling
thing.
water. Oh, yes. California, tap in. We got to talk.
Wait a minute. I was in Cali 10 years. I've never had a THC drink.
What? Yeah.
Really?
And
Y'all
I mean,
Yes. I don't like
I've
them.
never had a THC drink. I mean, I've had other things.
there are some that are cleaner than others, you know,
don't
just
like
like
them.
all beverages. So
Okay,
there's some that have
definitely want to tap in with you about those. I want to try them out.
yeah.
Tennille, Taria is trying to get in the room and you won't send her the code. That's
because she's late.
Honey, that's right. Taria is trying to be getting.
Not her late
like
and banging
minutes.
on the door.
And banging on the door. And Tennille does not care. Okay. Tennille has moved on. All right. Anyway.
Producer Tennille does not play that.
Late to our live
Not
show.
your time.
To be early is to be on time.
Hello. Look, while Tennille lets Taria in, we're gonna do our segment called TBT, and that's Throwback 2. And
to bet what, Brittney?
TBT, that's Throwback 2. This is gonna be a goofy one. Y'all get us on track. Anyway, TBT, and the question to you ladies is: what's the time in college where you were overwhelmed and you should have focused on your wellness more?
The whole time I was in college.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, like OG life. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Ciji.
Yeah.
Those hours. That was not healthy, but I had so much fun doing that.
Right.
But that was not healthy.
The early mornings, late night. It was not good. There was
we were
no
working
sleep.
like 18 hours a day.
Yeah. There was no sleep.
But those
Probably
were some of the best
more.
years.
But they were, right?
Yeah. But
yeah,
wellness was not priority then.
Right. Nobody was talking about boundaries.
No.
But do you think that's something that, you know, is wellness something that, do we even understand what that means in college? I feel like the younger generation, like Gen Z, is about wellness in high school. Like it's much younger now than for us.
We were
I
not.
think they're way more tapped into it earlier than we were. And I think because the information is more accessible, like it's more of a, I don't want to say a trendy topic, but it's spoken about more. And I think when we were in school, we didn't really see it. It was a hustle culture. Everything is about grind and figure it out and go. And so we kind of bought into that. And I think nowadays, what are we on? Z, Y, X?
I
don't know which gen we're on, but I think they came into it in a completely different space. I love it though. Is
that the way they were raised?
I think it's in pockets because I work with youth and I offer wellness services. One of the reasons I wanted to get certified in yoga is because I wanted to help empower more people of yoga to do, or more people of color to do yoga, excuse me. But when I work with youth, oftentimes that's their first experience with yoga. And I would say it's also socioeconomic class. So the students that go to more prep schools, those schools tend to introduce them to yoga, or their parents tend to introduce them to yoga. My mother introduced me to yoga when I was in high school, but I thought it was boring. So I didn't stick with it. But as I remember, there were never any movement organizations on campus or any like meditation groups. I have partnered with younger organizations, Gen Z, they're not youth, they're college organizations that do have movement, but they're typically white girls. So it still continues to be an education process on wellness. I think a lot of people think self-care is like a facial or
getting your nails done.
Yeah. And I think
that's maintenance.
I think Gen Z talks about their mental health, but they don't always do something about their mental health. They're like, I'm depressed. I'm like, okay, so can we move out of this depression? Or can we pick up an activity? Can we go biking? And they're like, what's that? I mean, they're not outside. You know, Gen Z is on the phone. We used to be outside until the street lights came on.
Yeah. Brittney and Amina, do you have moments in college where you think like, oh my goodness, that was myself screaming for wellness and self-care? And
I mean, I think for me two kind of like moments come to mind when I was going through my process of becoming a member of Delta Sigma Theta, and the process of trying to, you know, go through that process while still maintaining and showing up in the classroom, as well as holding on to the internships. I was working like 3 or 4 jobs, trying to go through the process of becoming a member, of pledging, and it was just a lot. And then also senior year, like the fall semester, I started working a full-time job as an executive assistant like 3 or 4 months before graduating. And my boss did not care that I was in college. He was like, you took this job, you said that you were ready, and you got 5-6 months to graduate, but at the same time, I'm going to be expecting you to work this full-time 40-hour job while you're trying to graduate. And so it was like, it was very stressful at the time. Again, I was buying into hustle culture of this is what it takes. This is what you got to do. And again, it propelled me into my career. And it's still a great decision, but it was, you know, as Ciji often references, a time of where my burner was on like extreme high heat. And now I have the language to be able to identify what that was. But in the moment, I had no tools. I was just literally hanging on by a shoestring, and just trying to make it to the next step.
Yeah.
What about? I feel like the school, or maybe at HBCUs, going to chapel on Sunday was pushed as that self-care, you know, component. Chapel.
I remember people being judgmental who were coming from New Birth, and they would be like, did you go to church today? I clearly looked like I hung out last night until 4:00 in the morning. You know I didn't go to church. Why are you asking me, did I go to church?
But why was it the New Birth people specifically?
It was the New Birth people specifically getting dropped off on their shuttles, being real judgmental. Like, do I look like I'm not the chapel bae? What I will say is when I didn't apply myself in the manner that I should. I was active, but I could have been a better student, and ultimately that helped prevent some of the things that I wanted to do when I was in school. So I will say that I wasn't as overwhelmed, but I did do extracurricular activities. I was an RA, I was on yearbook, I ran for Miss Senior, I was an intern, I worked at the mall, didn't have a car, but I worked out. So sophomore year, I was working out 3 times a week. I used to run track, and that's one of the things I wish I would have done was continue to run track at an HBCU. I was like, I'm not doing that. But when you're 18, you're not mature enough to make those decisions. But after I gained that freshman 15, I started working out 3 to 5 times a week. And so that was really good for my mental health in hindsight.
I wish they had rubbed some of that off on me.
I wish we would have had, like, I know now they have a gym right down the street, but I wish we would have had a gym. Like on campus,
like an actual,
when you see a lot of other schools, they have these great facilities.
Yeah, I used to work out in the gym. It was just where the football players used to be. I used to work out down there. That's how I lifted weights. I used to get on
but most people don't even know that gym exists.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a Y like right across the street from the church now. Now there is. For students. It's crazy. Like I was on campus last week for a book signing, and it's crazy. Like the things that they have access to now.
Do these new dorms have gyms?
I don't know.
They got these updated dorms. They should have like at least a
sounds like you're pushing it, Amina. In the dorms,
there's a gym in the student center.
Okay.
Yeah.
See?
Where the old like rec room used to be.
Yeah, there is that now. I saw that.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
right by Suite 250. How many hours did we spend in Suite 250?
Exactly. And we should have been in there in the gym, but it did not. We had it, but we spent a lot of time just hanging out in there. Okay, we're going to get into what's on the menu today for brunch, and I'm really excited because, as Tennille and I have stated, we need some help here. So we're going to kick it off with each person describe in 30 seconds how you define your personal happiness. What brings you joy? I'm starting with Brittney on purpose because she always asks me what brings me joy. So go. 30 seconds.
30 seconds describes what brings me joy.
Yes. Go.
Moving my body, spending time with my loved ones, laughing and tapping into my inner child with my son, traveling the world. I gotta keep going for 30 seconds.
Yes.
Traveling the world, yoga, rest. I love to sleep. I love to take naps when I can. Let's see. I love my friends. I love God. I love the journey that I'm on. I love the lessons that I've learned, the new relationships that I'm building, the old relationships that are shedding that I'm thankful for. Okay.
Good job, Britt. Okay. All right. Ciji, you want to go next?
Oh, but mine are so similar.
Okay.
All right. So what brings me joy? All the things that I have in my Being Balanced toolbox, which are body movement, reading, walking outside, spending time with little humans, whether they're my own or somebody else's. Margaritas bring me a lot of joy, like an extensive amount of margaritas bring me a lot of joy. Let's see. Probably should have said this one first. Jesus. I love Jesus. Jesus brings me joy. And let's see. Candles. Candles bring me joy. Lots and lots of candles in my space, and fresh flowers bring me a lot of joy.
Dope. Amina, wrap us up. What brings you joy?
Right. Hiking, biking, and connecting people to more potential inside of them are the icing on the cake. Cultivating community, creating opportunities for marginalized people such as myself. Moving my body. I absolutely love to work out. It feels good. Pilates is my latest certification that I am working towards, and traveling. I love to travel, to experience new culture, and to explore.
You know what was very telling of that exercise for me? All three of you all were very prepared for that question. Now, when it comes to me, normally, it takes me a while.
You want to go right now?
No.
I think you should.
Yeah, no. Let's do it.
I think it'd be a great exercise.
No. I'm not going. No, but like that was the tell for me. Is that was very easy
Brittney,
for all three of you.
Brittney, hold on.
Shut up, Tennille.
All right.
What?
I got my timer. Go.
Tennille. I feel like I be getting bullied on this show. Anyway, oh gosh. Okay.
Are you gonna go?
I'm going. Jesus, because I'm gonna start there, like Ciji said. Okay, Jesus. Look, I my fiance brings me joy. Work sometimes brings me joy. My mom, my family, my good check-ins with my friends. Oh my God, brings me so much joy. I know you said this is maintenance, but my nails bring me so much joy. I love my nails. Is the time up? Yes.
Not really,
because you started late, so you really could have.
Y'all were some haters. Anyway, that question was not for me anyway, but I was just very impressed because, you all were so prepared for that question.
And here's the thing about joy. I think that it also can fluctuate based on the season that you're in.
Yes.
It doesn't have to. It shouldn't be this consistent thing. There are moments, and it doesn't mean perfection, but also being able to know and tap into the feeling of how you're feeling in certain situations, and what's a high vibration feeling and what brings you down, whether it's people, places, or things. I think that's also super important in just the self-discovery of oh, when I'm around this person I feel great, or when I'm around this person they make me feel crappy. All of that also is just great signs of how you can kind of tap into your joy.
Is joy and happiness the same thing?
No.
And I don't think so.
Just one thing, I also think we're all wellness practitioners. And so we prioritize wellness and movement. And folks who choose movement know that movement moves you into a better mood, a better version of yourself, more clarity. And we're also entrepreneurs. So I feel like as an entrepreneur, you are always on because you are always pitching, because you never know who you're meeting in that moment.
Notice I didn't say movement.
Something else in the universe. I think it's equally important to also know what does not bring you joy, so that you can be very clear in communicating that. You can be very clear in your yeses and your nos. And so when you ask the question, while it was so easy to say what brings us all joy, curious to know if we could all articulate what doesn't bring us joy, you know?
Okay, Ciji, what doesn't bring you joy?
Oh, lots of things. Mean people don't bring me joy. I stay away from them. I don't enjoy, and I guess this would be along the lines of joy, giving. I don't enjoy hikes. While I love body movement, I don't prefer to do like a hike as a body movement. So I don't do them. I don't think that time with certain people brings me joy. I'm trying to figure out how to say that politically correct. But like based on vibes and energy that I've experienced in the past, it's not that I don't like the person. It's just that I know they don't bring me joy. And so I limit my time if I can.
Okay. I get that. Would love to know what everybody else who's tuning in, what brings them joy. If it's just one word, throw it in the chat. Would love to know that. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. In the spirit of Tennille, have you fallen off what you said you were going to do since January 1st? Do you make resolutions? And is this the perfect reset? Anybody?
So I can jump in on that one. I mean, I don't have a problem with resolutions. I don't make them. I think that people have different ways to define whatever, their goal may be. It's a commitment, an intention, a plan, whatever, resolution, however you want to state it. But I did a speaking engagement where I talked about rethinking resolutions. So if you are in fact going to have a resolution, how do you achieve what you want to achieve mindfully, with intention? So if the goal is to lose weight, instead of focusing only on the body aspect of that, how do you also apply what needs to happen in your mind first, to change your behavior, and make sure that you're focusing not just on the reward body wise, and because there's so many other aspects to that. Mind and the body have a direct connection to each other. So that's just one example, but I didn't make any resolutions really. It's crazy that you bring that up because Brittney has been doing this amazing Women Like Me fitness challenge for like the last few years. And every year I sign up. I'm like, yes, I'm doing it. I'm right there. And it's like 200 workouts a year or like 223 a year. And y'all, every year I don't do it. Like I move my body every day, but for whatever reason, I cannot reach this goal. So this year I was like, okay, I'm kind of going to do it, but I'm not going to talk about it. And instead, I'm going to focus on just each month. So like in January, I did 31 days of yoga. In February, I did 28 days of movement. And March, I don't know yet. Maybe we'll walk every day or something. I don't know. And I know we're already into March, but y'all said it was okay before we started to start the year over.
We start today.
On March 5th.
Starts today.
March 5th. It starts today.
Right. I haven't started March yet. I'm easing in. Okay. But yeah, I mean, like I think when you look at things in digestible ways, sometimes, and after you maybe had an experience where it didn't work, because I'm like, it's not working, right? The math's not mathing. I can't figure out how to do the Women Like Me fitness challenge. So I'm just going to take it piece by piece and then check in later and be like, oh, I've done 200 workouts, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can kind of add on to that. Like I stopped doing resolutions a while ago, but I have started at the end of the year. I like to do like a life audit of like my life for that year, and I kind of just reflect on how I showed up, you know, in my family, and kind of like, you know, as a mom, as a wife, how did I kind of show up? Are there areas that I want to improve? Are there areas that I need to ask for support, or I need support when it comes to my family, and kind of like really reflecting on that. Also in friendships, the end of every year, I kind of like do a friend audit of like, who was I close to this year? What worked? What didn't work? What types of friendships and relationships were missing? And so, you know, I'm in the season now of trying to get birth, you know, several business ideas as an entrepreneur, learning how I was speaking with you, Amina, about, you know, the investment world. So I'm like, okay, I need to find resources in this area as I go into the new year. And not necessarily that these people will be like friends for forever, but I need to expand my network, which is going to be time consuming. And so that's going to take away from maybe some of the things that I'm doing with my friends, but I need to shift my focus in this area to be able to expand because of this reason. So I do audits of family, friends, career. Okay, what's the current roles that I'm doing? What do I like? What do I not like? What's the why? Am I in this position because it's a great salary and this is how I feed my family? Am I doing this because this is fueling me in my next career pivot, or something that I'm passionate about? And so those like audits and reflections kind of set me up with my intention for the next year. So like one of my intentions for this year is to do things that make me feel uncomfortable, right? And so I came into the year not necessarily like my New Year's resolution, but it was like, okay, this year I realized there were some areas that I was becoming complacent, where I was getting a little comfortable, and I need to shake myself up a little bit because I know me. And I'm like, once I get into something, it's like, once I get that Virgo groove, we grooving. But I need, like, I'm also like, I am a builder. I'm a person who like, I thrive in like finding the little diamond in the rough, and then the process of taking it from A to Z. But once I get it to Z, I'm like over it, and I need a new challenge. And so it's like, all right, I need to find some things that like challenge me. And so you know, one of the things that I started with in January was getting my yoga teacher certification. The idea of going back to be in student mode, first of all, Amina, I didn't realize how much, like, it's a lot of work. The studying, the anatomy, like it literally is like I'm in medical school. And I wasn't.
And then
like,
you have to practice.
And you have to practice a number of hours a week, plus the intensive training. So I'm like, okay, from January to April, this is what I have to focus on. And other things and people aren't really going to have, you know, a lot of my time. So I think I just kind of compartmentalized it that way. And it naturally produces like resolutions without me like saying resolution number 1, resolution number 2.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Amina?
So I so many things to pick up on. I stopped doing resolutions because I just set these goals that are like all the way up here, and then I just check them off. And oftentimes, especially on my entrepreneurial journey, there were so many times I would reach milestones that I couldn't even have time to celebrate because I am still grinding on this entrepreneurial journey. And having a business that's failing during COVID has been really challenging, but just setting goals and giving yourself, I tell to my clients that every day is a new opportunity to start over. So you don't have to wait until the first of the year. Like, you can start over tomorrow, today, this very moment. So, you know, make it more tangible. And then what we did in all of my classes and still do for the rest of this month is I empower humans to be their best self in this moment so they can cultivate resilience. So when life happens outside of this class, you are already prepared. It is easy. You have mentally pushed yourself in a class, in community. So when life happens, you know what to do. Why I like hiking is because I'm afraid of heights. So it's like, let me confront my fear. And everywhere I go, I'm like, okay, what's the highest hike? And then I'm out there like, why did I choose this hike? I am like paralyzed with fear. And it's like, you're not about to quit on yourself. You're about to make it to the top. And so this year I had already decided to close my business. I decided that I was tired of not having the opportunities to scale. I had these great ideas that I couldn't see through. I wanted to build a bike in 2018. In 2020, I wanted to scale to a digital platform. In 2021, I wanted to franchise, and I never had the network. And so I wanted to pivot into school. So then I was like, how do I get into B school? How do I get into B school without paying for money? So I've been on that hurry up to get into B school, but it's really just a shift so I can have more balance. I have, for the last decade, put my business first and the community members and made all these different sacrifices. And so going back to school for me is about achieving a goal to give myself more balance ultimately, but to also still create more opportunities. I feel like I'm always trying to solve all the problems myself. Like, oh, fitness needs to be more accessible. Let me open a studio. Oh, X, Y, and Z board is too white. Let me get on the board. Oh, there needs to be more opportunities for youth. Let me create a nonprofit so I can create more opportunities for youth. And so now it's my opportunity to kind of do less things and pour into myself so I can have a more balanced future where I can still have an impact. But to the ultimate question is, every day is a new opportunity to start over. And just maybe this will segue into Neil. I think the community and group classes are the best way to stay committed. I never work out on my own. I'm a fitness professional, but it is so much work. I do not want to have to do the work to put a workout together that is going to, for me, what I created is train, sweat, restore. So everybody needs to train functionally. You need to do cardio for your heart, and then you need to restore. You need to fill up your cup. You need to meditate. You need to move in silence. That's why trap yoga is not yoga. That's my controversial take. I don't care. You cannot be listening to Future talking about them hoes and trying to meditate. So I understand movement is great. However, trap yoga is not yoga. So Brittney, don't be out there, that trap yoga.
I'll put my little baby yoga playlist together.
That's trap stretch.
Trap stretch. Okay. So the consensus is no resolutions. Have we just given the word resolution a bad rep?
I do vision boards though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think resolution, just because there's so many articles and blogs and things about that you don't keep them. Like we talk more about not keeping them, and like February 1st is like the day that everybody just gives up and they all go out the window. And we talk about how people are in the gym only the first month, and it's so crowded, which it is, in fact, very crowded typically. Or like people are only eating healthy the first month. They only do dry January the first month, all these different things. I just feel like the word resolution just got a bad rap because the same thing can happen if you're not sticking with your commitments, if you're not sticking with your goals, if you're not sticking with all the other words that you can use to fill in the blank. But somebody's got to take the L. Sorry, resolution.
Yeah. I don't do resolutions, but because of Brittney, as you can tell, Brittney's my wellness friend. I started doing a word for the year years ago. Brittney, do you still do that?
Oh yeah,
I still do that.
I still do that.
For the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
My word for this year is consistency.
Okay. Mine is journey. I don't live in the moment. I don't enjoy the journey. I'm always focused on
what's next.
On what's next and then the goal. And it's like there's a little bit to celebrate and enjoy along the way, along the journey. And I never stop.
Have you ever done a gratitude practice, like a consistent gratitude, like of writing?
I write in my journal. Is that what you mean?
Yes, writing in your journal, but like from the place of gratitude, because having a consistent gratitude practice for me has helped me to stay in the moment.
At the end, I've been doing this for 2 years. At the end of each journal entry, I things that brought me joy today, and I do 3 things that brought me joy that day. Is that the same thing? Kind of.
Do you feel like that helps you to be rooted in like the moment that's in front of you, or not really?
Ooh, never thought of it that way.
I feel like it doesn't help me, and so I can be grateful I'm so thankful, but I am still worried about getting to the next thing or checking off the list. And there are so many major milestones that I just didn't really enjoy because I was focused on getting to the next thing, because you got these blinders on. And sometimes I wonder, is it like type A people? Is it CEO mindset people? So it is challenging. And I think that you can still be grateful. Like, I got into the consortium last week. It's like, yay. But I'm like, can I get into the schools yet? Can I, like, you know,
like what else is
the next step?
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, Brittney's right. Like, a gratitude practice really helps kind of center in that moment and be grateful for the thing that's happening right now before moving into the next thing.
See, I think mine has now turned into like just like a check. Like, I just have to do it because I'm conditioned to do it. And I don't know if I stop and
that happened to me with morning devotion. Like, I got really into just the robotic of doing my morning routine. And I was like, okay, check, I did devotion. But then I like 2 minutes later, I couldn't even remember what I had read or what it was about. Like, I wasn't retaining it because I was just rushing through the experience.
To say you did it.
Yep.
So how did that, when did you make the change, or what did you do to make the change? Did you have to add more time to sit with devotion, or did you
I'm still in the process. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how to not make it a check the box, but still do it. Because I was like, oh, okay, I won't do it. I'll do it later in the day. And then it never got done. And I was like, the morning time is the time, but how do I invest more intentionality into the moment versus just checking the box?
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. So mornings is my sacred time too. And one of my friends, actually Brittney, we know him, Kevin, you know, Kevin that works with you. He started this thing called Good Morning God. And I think it's kind of expanded from what his original idea was. But I start in the morning, and literally the minute I open my eyes, I do like a check-in with my body. And I don't know if y'all have ever heard of like a body scan, right? A body scan meditation where you like literally just sit and you just kind of like, what's the energy that I'm waking up with today? Am I waking up with nervous energy? Am I waking up and I'm super groggy and tired? Like, how am I waking up? And then from that place, once you tap into, okay, today I'm waking up, and I feel super rested. I feel like I got some good sleep last night. I'm ready to tackle the day. I might say, okay, what do you need? Next question is, okay, what do you need before you check your phone or get up to get the kids to school? Like, what do you need first? And so I might say, all right, I need 5 minutes of meditation before I do anything. Or I'm going to get up and do 10 minutes of yoga before I start my day. But it's not necessarily every morning isn't the same thing, because some mornings I might wake up and say, I need an extra 20 minutes of sleep. I'm not ready yet. And I might close my eyes again. So I think it really is, for what's been helpful for me is not having something that's so like rigid of like, I got to get up in the morning and I got to read my devotion, or I got to do this, because like Ciji said, it's kind of the robotic, but being able to tap into your body, your needs in that moment, and then kind of leading with like giving your body what it needs. Like, I think that's helpful. And that's another way to get into the gratitude practice, is tapping into you and feeling like, and knowing what you need in that moment, and then giving yourself permission to give yourself what you need. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. Brittney, you led us right into the next question, was how do you check in with yourself? You led us right in. Ciji, Amina, how do you check in with yourself?
Definitely check in the morning and give myself a morning pep talk. I mean, you know, again, as someone who's taught classes for nearly a decade, people are paying for an experience, and I'm the chief experience guide. And even when I was a manager of luxury retail stores, I used to always tell my people to check their shit at the door. So, you know, just check in with myself. And then movement. I know every interview that I had for school, I exercised first. So when I'm feeling stressed, I need to move. Pilates helps align my mind. You know, I also model. So it's just whatever the task is, or the hat that I'm putting on for the day, is preparing for that mentally. Like Brittney said, a body scan. Because I've been a yoga teacher since 2016, I feel like a lot of things I do intuitively. The one thing I don't do enough is meditate. It's actually like turn my brain off, but that's because I'm firing with all these ideas on all cylinders. But breath, start my morning with breath, close my eyes, and then movement, and then some fuel, and most definitely espresso.
Ciji, how do you check in with yourself?
I think it's kind of similar in that some of the things that I do every day are just now kind of intuitive. And so I don't necessarily consider them a check-in because I've just been doing it for so long. I also do like deep breathing first thing in the morning. And I just, every exhale is getting out whatever is there, like the junk that maybe I don't even know what it is or know how to describe it. And then I go into some meditation. I love meditation. That is something that does happen daily, a couple of times a day. And so I love it. But just to put a spin on like the check-in process, I think I more so am intentional about checking in with myself when I have a life season change. Mm-hmm. So I adjust my burners a lot. I know Brittney mentioned it earlier that I use this like term, you know, your burners are on high. So like when my work burner is really on high, when I turn it down, that's when I check in with myself. Like, I'm like, okay, you just had a period of time where you were just going, like, and maybe it was a specific project or I was preparing for a trip or an event or something like that. And then I take a step back and I'm like, okay, what do you need? Like, what do you need to regroup, to adjust your other burners? Like, instead of just going straight from that work high burner to family high burner, like what can you do in the in-between to pour back in and make sure you're good before you start doing stuff for other folks? And I think that keeps me a little bit more grounded in the intentionality of checking in with myself versus like the daily check-in, because I think I'm just doing that pretty naturally.
I got a quick question. Is that an episode? Like, what episode number is that? That are the balance burners?
Yes, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So, yes, there are a couple of Being Balanced podcast episodes where we talk a little bit more about the burner theory, and I'll send them to you. And happy to share with this whole community.
Ciji, you're taking us into the next one because the next one was specifically for you about balance, not busy. So you go. You got
okay. Well, you know what? Let me pause then and like explain Balance Not Busy. So Balance Not Busy is a lifestyle brand that I founded in 2015 around offering support to go-getters and people that would describe themselves as a busy person who truly want to embrace balance. And not balance in the way that we've been conditioned to believe balance should be, which is work-life balance, where there's some magical 50-50 split where you can show up in your life, you know, one way and then show up in another life another way. It's not possible. Work is a part of life. And so it's one hat that you wear. And it's not a negative per se. Like, we're badasses. We have gifts and skills and experiences to offer to our professional careers. We shouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm giving too much at work and now I don't have enough to give to life. No, it's all one big happy sphere. And there are times in your life where you may need to turn what I call a burner up. And James Clear, who is the author of Atomic Habits and one of my favorite authors, he coined the theory, the burner theory. I took it and remixed it with a balance, not busy approach, because the way that he described it for me did not feel realistic for the average woman, typically, that has a lot of ideas, that wants to move and shake in a lot of different areas in her life and wants to show up in a certain way. And whether that be motherhood, singlehood, work, wellness, whatever the case may be. So you take your burners. There's 4 of them. I know we're sophisticated and some homes now have 6 burners in their kitchen. I know, but we're just going to work with 4. And in a nutshell, you apply an area of life to each burner. And you do that based on your current life season. So you don't have to get too stuck and attached to, okay, I can only focus on my work, my family, my wellness, and my friends. That might change. Things happen. But let's say those are your 4. Depending on what's going on in your life, you adjust the temperature and you get comfortable with adjusting the temperature, because if all the burners are on high, if you're giving 110% to work, 110% to your family, whether it's adult caregiving, whether it's taking care of your dog, your child, whatever the case may be. And if you're giving 110% to your own wellness, like you're working out 7 days a week, you've got to go to this retreat in Bali and it's stressing you out to get your money and your coins right. And then you're giving 110% over here to friends. You're the super friend. You got to go to every baby shower. You got to show up. You got to plan everything. The kitchen is going to get hot because all the burners are turned up to high. And when the kitchen gets hot and the water is boiling over and you're stressed, you're anxious, your life is overprogrammed, you're flustered. You cannot navigate all of these different things because everything is getting too much of you. Mm-hmm. So when you adjust those burners and you say, okay, I'm planning an event for work and I know I got to really dial in. So I'm going to turn my work burner on high. I'm going to give myself permission to not work out every day. And maybe I just go for a 10-minute walk. So my wellness burner might turn to medium just for a minute. Right? We're not giving up. We're not giving up on the goals, right? You're just turning it down and going for a walk instead of doing some high intensity 60-minute yoga class, right? And family, right? This is the one most people struggle with. How do I adjust my burner for my family? It does not mean you don't love your children. It doesn't mean you don't love your husband. It simply means that you're going to turn that down because you're working late hours to make this work project come to life, and somebody else is going to have to tap in. And listen, it doesn't have to mean, it doesn't mean that your husband is going to make dinner every night. If he don't normally do that, don't put that expectation on him that he's going to start doing that. It means that your children are going to eat Chick-fil-A and you're okay with that. And they're going to eat Chick-fil-A every day, and that's okay. And they're going to be fed. And that's okay. So you have to give yourself permission to turn these burners down. And that's where most people don't succeed in that space. There's no grace extended to yourself to give yourself permission to pivot. And here's the other hard one, the friend burner. A lot of people struggle with that one too. Because they're like, I love my friends. I don't want to put my friends on simmer for a minute. Yes, you do. Because you do not want to go to happy hour and your work burner is on high and you're checking your phone the entire time you're at happy hour with your girlfriends. That's not fun. Don't do that. Put the burner on simmer. Tell your girlfriends, hey, you know what? I am knee deep in a really big project that means a lot to me. When I'm done, we're going to catch up. We're going to go have margaritas. I am notorious for this, y'all. I drop off the face of the earth. Brittney, I haven't called you in years. My bad, girl. But
same. I mean, we text and we communicate on IG. Right. We haven't. We're long overdue for
Kayla, though. Right.
Yes.
I'm like,
we're long overdue for some margaritas,
girl. I'm going
or a yoga class.
Or a yoga class, yes. Or exactly. Both. Yoga and margarita.
Amina, they trying to enjoy a margarita, okay?
Well, they could. They could do yoga and smoothies or fresh juice.
Amina, margarita.
Or a bike ride and really get those endorphins up. They could do.
I love a smoothie. I should talk about how I also like smoothies and margaritas. Yeah. So I used to like margaritas. So that's balance, not busy in a nutshell. That's the burner theory in a nutshell. I'm so super passionate about it. I am a radical advocate of rest and rejuvenation and restoring yourself. And I think that the only way you can do those things is by knowing that you have to adjust the temperatures in your life periodically to get it all done.
While we're on the topic, Ciji, just let us know how we can, how to get to balance, not busy. How do we tap in to you and balance, not busy?
So you can go to my website, balancednotbusy.com. That's like the central hub of all the things. And learn more about speaking engagements. There's links to podcasts there, etc. I do host a podcast, the Being Balanced podcast, and a couple of folks in the room have been guests. Riri, I know we call you Taria now, but you know, Brittney's been a guest. So you can go listen to the podcast. It's everyday folks, right? Doing practical things, real-time solutions. Like, we're not talking above folks' heads. Like, you don't have to make this difficult. So I love the podcast because we have real, raw conversations. I also do speaking engagements. And so I work with a lot of corporate clients, Chamber of Commerce, nonprofits, et cetera, to go in and really help folks through their journey of finding balance and living more balanced. And there's content. There's always content on social media. So primarily on Instagram, which is a lot of the behind the scenes of my own balanced and sometimes balanced-ish life, where I share pretty transparent things that are happening around the Townsend household. But then I also work with a lot of different groups and organizations and brands to really bring their tools to life and how you can live more balanced with them.
Great. Tap in, everybody.
Yeah,
I'm tapping
in. Do all the things.
I need it. Time has gotten away from me a little bit. I apologize because this conversation is really what I need for my soul. But I'm gonna tap in to Brittney and Amina a little bit, and then we'll go into the next segment before we wrap it up. But Brittney, tell us like what you've got going on right now, what you're doing. We know you're doing the yoga instructor training, but what else you got going on?
So for me on, the wellness side, I launched a wellness community called Women Like Me, in 2019, 2020, in the middle of like the pandemic, because it's something that had been on my mind for a while as a woman who's a high achiever, entrepreneur. I was also in the thickness of being a new mom. And there were a lot of things that I was struggling with, in terms of mental health, physical wellness, financial wellness. I'm trying to pull all these things together. And I feel like other people probably need community and support, with like-minded people as well. So I started Women Like Me a few years ago to be a community of like-minded women who are looking to achieve more balance in their life, to understand the practices of self-care. And so from that is my personal kind of like experience that's leading me to want to be able to hold space for other women, like myself, whether it's in creative industries, moms who are also pursuing personal passions, all the different things. And so, I started a podcast during the pandemic, which my original idea was for it to be more in-person events. And then we went through a global pandemic. So I had to pivot into it being a podcast. So there are several episodes out of the Women Like Me podcast where we've had guests like Ciji and Brittney, and other amazing women to just share about their different perspectives on wellness, areas that they feel like they are strong, areas that they're still growing. We really just have a very similar conversation to this, where it just feels like girl talk for a good 30, 45 minutes. And it's very like cleansing for the spirit. So I'm looking to pick that back up. It's something that I'm personally passionate about. You can go to, my website, Brittney King Brock, for more information on that, and to catch up on the episodes. And then this year, I'm officially getting certified. So my goal with my yoga certification is to be able to host wellness retreats, corporate wellness, particularly in creative industries, because I feel like I naturally speak to entrepreneurs and creatives. So I love to come to Netflix and do a yoga workshop. Put that out there. So, I want to be able to hold space in different places for, women of color, like Amina mentioned, that are oftentimes marginalized, to be able to understand and have better access to tools in the toolbox. On the work side with my company, King Creative Group, lots of amazing things that are happening. in terms of birthing new ideas. I have some strong partnerships that I'm in the process of announcing, and I'm about to dip my toe back into the production side, where I'm working on a production idea that I will soon be talking about. That it all ties into the thread for me is like women, wellness, making sure that we are shining the light on us, and this the power and the magic of us. And so this idea is threaded into that. So I'll be announcing that hopefully soon.
Dope. Amina, what's up?
Ooh, everything is up. So I'm in the process of closing my wellness studios that I opened in 2017. I am I am certified in cycle. I'm a black and yellow ranked TRX instructor. Those are the black and yellow straps that hang from the gyms that most people use incorrectly. I am 200-hour certified yoga instructor. And I created the Train, Sweat, Restore philosophy, which morphed into the TSR method. I wanted to make this a franchisable model, but the pandemic changed things. So we will be wrapping up all the good things that we have done in the community of Detroit, which I like to say it most provocatively, united people in the name of sweat. I will be an MBA 1 student somewhere in the fall, where I'm sure I will be rolling out some sober initiative.
Oh no. Did we lose her at the wrong time?
Oh no, you froze, Amina.
Yeah. This whole time, and now she in the good stuff. Okay, well. Okay, we'll see if she pops back in. All right. Well, we're gonna pivot just to another segment, Taria.
I think it was the sober stuff that froze her up.
Because we look at because we're trying to get some margaritas.
Okay, this is the all black everything segment. Tennille, I didn't know if you had a slide. Okay, cool. So this is the segment.
There it is.
Thank you. So this is the segment where we raise our glasses and we cheers to something amazing in the culture. And this week we are cheersing to Howard University's swim and dive team for making history with its first championship in 34 years. They were the only all-black college swim team to take home the 2023 title of the Northeast Conference Men's Swimming and Diving Championship after finishing second last year. So that is because they say black people don't swim.
They think we can't swim. I can't.
But I can't either.
Well, I can. And we have showed out.
Ooh.
So cheers to the Howard swim team.
Cheers to them. We over here just really leaning into those stereotypes, huh? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I was hoping we would get Amina back, but
I just pivoted because I'm a pivoteer due to the pandemic.
Come on, find a way to make one.
Find a way, which is really how I have lived my life. So, as I was saying, I am pivoting into an MBA student. I still launched a nonprofit that it was in conjunction with a fiscal sponsor. So that's called LCD Cares and the Ready to Work Project. And I will still be creating opportunities for young people to have access to wellness initiatives like yoga, therapy, and movement. And I'm sure when I get to whatever MBA school, I will continue to create opportunities for marginalized entrepreneurs because we need access, especially in smaller markets like Detroit.
ladies, come on. just what my soul needed, this chat today. Okay. I really needed this. And I really appreciate all of the gems that you all dropped for us to be a better women and people, men too. I see Dalen here too. Hey, Dalen.
Hey, Dalen.
I got one last question for everybody watching and for you ladies is, have you donated to your HBCU today? Okay, that is something we love to talk. We love to enjoy each other's company, but don't forget, we are all here. We all went to CAU. We are, one of our number one goals on our show is to give back to our HBCUs and amplify the voices of HBCU graduates and HBCU students. So if you have not, throw a couple coins to CAU. Yes, I'm going to specifically say CAU today because we are all CAU. Hopefully our guests will do the same, and those who are watching. So donate, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to follow along as we go on this journey to amplify HBCU voices and talk about all things, everything Black excellence on this show. And yeah.
Does Taria have anything to say today?
Oh, because I got put on the spot.
I did all Black everything. Is there something else I need
to say? I did the intro today, and it was...
Yay! Sorry, I was late for the Lord. I apologize.
We'll take it for now.
It is Sunday.
It is Sunday. It is Sunday. It is Sunday. Okay.
No, but thanks for watching, y'all. Like Brittney said, follow us on our socials, Alumni Brunch Club on IG and Alumni Brunch on Twitter, and watch the show back on YouTube. Share it with your friends and even bring them to brunch next time. That's it.
Have a good week.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank y'all.
Bye.